what is happening in Morocco.
Yeah.
Talk about the Africa Cup of Nations.
First of all, I did not want Nigeria to reach where I did. I really thought Algeria had the chance to take Nigeria out, but watching that game, Nigeria dominated like the whole game. For Morocco, I think Morocco have the biggest chance of reaching the final and winning this tournament, especially being at home and having the support from home. Although they've had a lot of allegations with referees and like the game for Tanzania, I still believe they have the quality. People like Brahim Diaz, people like Alpha Shakimi, Bono, their keeper, they still have the quality to get to where they are, to get to the finals. And then for Egypt, Egypt have Mo Salah, who I think at this point probably is trying to prove a point because of the things that have been going on back with Liverpool. Yeah, and for Nigeria, I honestly didn't want them to win, but they also have the quality. They have Victor Osimhen, they have Lookman, who has been scoring goals. They have Iwobi, who has been doing a great job. So, yeah.
All right. Some trends on your screen there. Wanasema possibility of a team winning the Africa Cup of Nations. You look at what is happening, and whenever the host team, or rather the host country knocks out Cameroon, they often end up lifting the trophy. The host country now is Morocco. They knocked out Cameroon, and Cameroon were outnumbered in that match. Before that one, there's another one. 1970, Sudan defeated Cameroon 2-1, and then claimed their first and only AFCON title. That the one Sudan that also played at the Africa Cup of Nations. In 1986, Egypt eliminated Cameroon on penalties, went on to win the tournament at home, and also South Africa walipiga Cameroon 3-1, lifted the maiden AFCON trophy in 1996. That's the only Africa Cup of Nations trophy that South African, or rather Bafana lifted. In 2025, Morocco just won 2-0 against Cameroon. Are they going to win it? Are they going to continue with the trend? Annette?
They're very interesting matchups. I think Nigeria will not let Morocco win it easy in the event they win it. Nigeria having a lot of backroom issues. I thought that would affect them in their quarterfinal run, but they did well. So, and Nigeria outnumbered and outmatched Algeria. Nigeria have, like what I've been saying, an English Premier League super team in the likes of Chukwueze, in the likes of Ademola Lookman, in the likes of, we could go on. They have a very good team. The only problem is they have a lot of backroom theatrics, and the cracks will start to show. And if the cracks show in the game they play against Morocco, Morocco will have the upper hand.
Do you think those were mind games?
I don't think they were mind games. I think there's a real problem. If you look at the World Cup qualifiers, that's how they were knocked out by DRC Congo. They went there, they didn't train, they started doing some funny things, posting about where they're sleeping, complaining about enumeration, and that's how they're not playing in the World Cup. So Nigeria have a point to prove. They want to win the AFCON because they know the next probably major competition they will compete in is 2027 AFCON in Kenya. So for them, they want to prove, especially to the Ghanaians, that this is their trophy. But for Morocco, there's a lot of confidence inspired by the return of Hakimi. Brahim Diaz has scored, I think he's the top scorer of the competition, having scored 5 goals, 1 in each game. And they're looking very strong. As Angie said, even in their keeper, Bono, there's something different about that team. That team is not the same team that played in the group stages. There's something different. There's something that has happened. I don't know if Hakimi has that sort of influence where he comes back and he pushes the team up and forward. Also in the Egypt game, I think Mo Salah has been instrumental, or Mamouche also being on the score sheet very early in the game. I think there's also something there. Egypt might, somebody was saying we might foresee an all North African final with Egypt versus Morocco. And I think that could happen, but I don't think Senegal will allow them. Senegal and Nigeria are also very tough opponents. I think this is the first AFCON where I'm seeing a semi-final that has the heavy hitters in Africa. So I think they're very interesting matches to watch.
All right, speaking of Brahim Diaz, another historic moment. He's now just the second player ever to net in the first 5 AFCON appearances, at this time scoring 5 goals. He joins Ghana's Osei Kofi, who did it back in 1968. hizo ni miaka mingi zilizopita. Yeah, another historic moment in his first 20 games for Morocco, only Basir, who has scored 14 goals, has more goals than Brahim Diaz. Look at the top scorers in the Africa. Look at Morocco's top scorers in AFCON history. Look at the likes of Hamed Faraz, who has already scored 6 goals. Youssef El Nesri, 5 goals, and then Brahim Diaz, after just switching his nationality from being a Spanish, now a Moroccan. What a player.
What a player. From the games that I've watched of him, his creativity is just, I think you can see just the difference between where he's been training. I mean, he plays for Real Madrid. He's played for big teams like Manchester City in the academy. So his quality you can see from where he's been playing, and he's just showing it in the team. I mean, every time he catches the ball, something magical is about to happen. So he's a big player, he's a good player. And I think maybe he's the player who's going to take Morocco to the final.
Arocho, Nigeria versus Algeria, some ugly scenes that we saw there. Maplayer wanataka kushika ref mashati. Vitu kama hizo in a continental tournament.
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, the side shows that we saw. And I think CAF should stamp the authority to minimize such incidences. I've not heard what they did. But another point that I need to pick from this AFCON is our referees, Kenyan referees. I'm seeing Peter Kamaku, the Don from GOtv, playing in the finals for the very first time. I feel that Kamaku and the team, Yembe and Cheriot, are ready to play the finals. It's good that Kenya is not there. That is one advantage for them. I'm seeing them officiating in the finals. You cannot officiate, of course, your team in the finals. But looking at the flip side, I think that this is an AFCON that has really, if I compared it with the last 2 editions, I think this one is, we are seeing some good quality in the game. And I was wondering, is this the very tournament that is coming to Kenya next year? Because if this is the tournament that, and the kind of talent and the kind of pace that is in this tournament, then we are in for a big surprise. Who is this calling me when I'm on air? Please, you need to.
Ndege?
No. It's the ambassador. Wants to know if I'm going to. He wants to know if I'm going to Morocco. No, I'll not go for the finals. I will go for the AFCON. I'm planning. I want to go for the ladies in March. So it's a tournament that is coming with a lot of energy. So this should be a challenge to Kenya. Unlike what we did in the Chan, guys, this is the tournament that is coming. I watched the match that really scared me, for lack of a better word, is when Benin played Egypt. Benin lost against Egypt in the pre-quarters. But the kind of pace, the kind of intensity that I saw in that match, surely Kenyans, we should start getting ready for that tournament. So without taking away the glamour from from our team, that is Harambee Stars, I think we need to be preparing and prepare well, because if we are going to, going by this tournament, Tanzania and Uganda have done themselves proud. Yes, Uganda were knocked out early, but Tanzania moved to the next level. The fact that Uganda participated in this tournament gives them an edge. Psychologically, they are coming into the Pamoja tournament with a lot of confidence. We never participated, and now we're expecting to move to the second or the third round of this tournament. So I'm challenging. For me, it's a challenge call to the football authorities in this country. The government has done its part. It's time that the federation should also do their part.
There's a lot to talk about when it comes to Africa Cup of Nations. The referee's decision, what has been happening with the referees. Look at Morocco. Many people are saying, Morocco anabebwa. There was a controversial decision against Tanzania, last-minute penalty that many people say, or rather football fans usually say, Tanzania were robbed. They were denied. Yeah. Look at another game that Morocco played. Wanasema hivi na hivi. Lakini Cameroon were outnumbered. Ilikuwa ngumu kwao, si ndio? Another thing about this, umeongea about AFCON, another thing that impressed me ni the quarterfinals being played in 8 different stadiums Hakuna uwanja, hakuna timu ilishia uwanja na hakuna game ilichezewa game mbili. 8 different stadium in one country. Look at the kind of pamoja bid. Hata tukishikana hivyo watu watatu ama 3 countries, hatuna uwanja 8, si ndio? Quick one tumalize. Ane tunamaliza na wewe AFCON. Hatufiki 8.
Tutafika. Actually, if you combine all our stadiums, Kenya si tunapenda 3.
Nasema hatufiki 8 tukicombine.
Tanzania, Uganda launched their Hoima Stadium.
Mbili.
Tuko sawa.
Zinafika 7. Zinafika 7, hazijafika 8.
I think
quick one tumalize.
In terms of AFCON, we're looking at a very interesting semi-final showdown. I think kama hujakuwa watch AFCON, this now will really open your minds to what it looks like, because the kind of pace, the kind of physicality, and I like AFCON because it's different from the English Premier League. There's things you don't expect. The number of shots that are usually outside the box, ridiculous. The kind of fouls that are there, the kind of goals that are scored. So I think AFCON has given us, it deserves all its flowers. It's given us a fantastic showdown. I would like to see a Morocco-Egypt final, or the reverse of it, a Senegal-Nigeria final.
Angie, a quick one. After college, what should we expect from you? This is a challenge.
Hopefully play for the national team. I've been able to play for under-17 and trained with under-20. So hopefully just get an opportunity to play for the national team and try to go pro and see how that goes.
All right. Yeah. Arocho Tufugie.
Me, I'm inspired by the fan, the Congolese fan, who had his hands up. I like, he's a patriot. He was given an offer to stay in the tournament, but he decided that now my team is not there, I have no business here. That is patriotism. And generally, AFCON is describing the diversity of African culture. I like the way fans from Tunisia are having playing drums with fans from Senegal. Yes. It shows that our diversity is our unity.
All right, and here from Monday Blitz, sisi toko nafunga, but remember, we have a big show. We have an in-depth analysis when it comes to Africa Cup of Nations 2025. Whatever is happening in Morocco, kuanzia saa 7:30 hadi saa 8, we are going to give you an in-depth analysis. We're going to give you some stats, historic moment, na ni hiyo tu. Tukiwa hapa Monday Blitz. See you next week, but tupatane saa 7:30 kwenye AFCON Extra. Have yourself a great week.